My mic is definitely muted on the OBS, but not like in the actual mic. I'm just getting stuff ready behind the scenes. We're gonna be starting soon. Um it's not receiving enough. I don't understand. Um Everything is going slow, by the way. Everything is going slow. I do appreciate you guys showing up. Thank you for showing up. For some reason, yeah, everything's going slow. But that's been like that for the past couple of days. So here is what's gonna be happening for today's stream. We're gonna be reacting to and watching in real time the Damian Priest interview by Chris Van Vliet because I adore Damian Priest and I want to see the interview and I want to react to it. Um, when we do reactions here on both mainly on Twitch, but since I'm doing double streaming on YouTube as well, what we do here, we pause a lot. So if that's something that you don't really like, then the video will be down in the description. um so we pause a lot because there's things that I might want to say, there's things that I might want to talk about, especially if like, it's a really good topic, a really good issue. So we pause a lot on the channel. If that's something that you don't like, then that's okay. It's totally fine. Um, I will leave the link, like I said, down in the description. Let me just refresh this and see what happens. Um, just because like it's telling me that everything is running slow. And you guys might not get the best viewing experience. After we watch the Damian Priest interview, we are going to be switching over to the sponsor of our stream, which is basically Uno. Uno has sponsored us, and I'm trying to get Uno to work into the chat. For some reason it is not, but we will, eventually figure this out. But yeah, we are sponsored by Uno. I am so happy that we are sponsored by Uno. And we're going to be playing Uno. You can play along too. When you download the link, my special link for the Uno mobile game, it helps me out directly. So as a content creator, that helps me out directly. And we've always had this talk about like, how best ways to basically help out streamers directly, and that's one of the best ways to help out a streamer directly is to download anything that they are sponsoring. But obviously, if you need to do due diligence before you put out a sponsor. But I love Uno. I love playing the game Uno, whether that's on mobile or whether that's in like physical, when you have friends over and you play the card game and stuff. But I really do love Uno, and to help our creator directly, downloading it, playing the game, getting up to level 10, and helping crushing the goals. And I'll crush the goals with you after we watch it because we'll play together. That's the best way to help a content creator out directly if any other means are not, available. Like if you can't give a sub or, give a donation, the easiest way to help out a streamer is to help them through whatever it is that they are sponsored by. And like I said, Uno is what we are sponsored by today. So that is what's going to be happening. We are going to be watching the interview first. We're going to be reacting to it. We're going to be pausing it. And then we are going to be playing a little bit of Uno after the fact, which I may or may not have to restart the stream, but I'll let you guys know. So for the most part, like I said, I'm still getting stuff ready. I still want to see how I can make uh, basically the stream smoother for you guys, because for some reason it is telling me that the stream status is poor, which I have no idea how or why. But then again, all the other stuff is popping up, but we'll figure it out. But yeah, we are sponsored by Una. We're going to be watching the Damian Priest interview, and then as people come into the chat, welcome, welcome, welcome. please make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcasts. I hear that hitting the like button helps out the video and puts it into the algorithm. And that's basically all I need, because I would love to have more people watch and listen and comment and have a conversation about professional wrestling and have a conversation about what we are watching, what we are listening in real time, because I think that it is very important to have conversations in wrestling and talk about certain issues. And we should be happy for moments that we celebrate, and also have like constructive criticism and stuff like that. So please, by all means, share it out. Tell your friends to come in. I know it's a work day. It is sort of lunchtime, but I needed to get in a stream early, because I have other stuff to do later on in the day. So I wanted to spend some time with you guys. The last thing that I did was do a Twitter stream. Oh my God, imagine the day I do a Twitter stream, I would have to pay for Twitter, which part of me was thinking about it, but I'm not really, really, really sure. But I did a Twitter space uh, for you guys, where I basically probably treated it like therapy, for a lot of the things that I was thinking about. And if you have not listened to the hour and 31 minutes of me talking on Twitter, in the Twitter space, talking about, social media and how it could help content creators, and what I've done over the past couple of days to basically, I guess, go viral and get a lot of traction and gain a lot of new friends, which, by the way, thank you for 528 followers, which you guys are my friends. You guys are friends of the channel. So thank you for subscribing and helping me out that way. I really do appreciate you guys. So we have 528 friends. And we also have, I also talked about, using social media for good to better your content. And then I also talked about wrestling in general and the IWC, and how there's always that double standard. And yeah, just a bunch of stuff like that. It was a very chaotic way of getting my thoughts finally on a podcast, like special edition of the Square Circle podcast, which was amazing. And of course, I will change into the next scene in a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to give you guys that much detail to get caught up. And again, tell a friend out there, tell them to join this early stream right now. And we're gonna be having the most fun that we can, watching the interview and then going on to playing some Uno. And I hope you guys join me in playing some Uno. Again, if you are tuning in, make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast, because that helps me out. That helps out everything in the algorithm. And we're going to begin shortly. Okay, I was about to say that like my headset was having a hard time trying to connect with the headphones for some odd reason. But this is to be expected. It is to be expected, but it is okay. Why is it not popping up now? What? Is it not connected? It is connected. Why is it not popping up? There we go. There goes the headphones. I need to make sure that I can hear it. You guys can hear it. Um, and we are going to ta-da. I gotta make sure to have the audio on for the interview we're about to watch. But yeah, as you can see, hold on. Over here. Over here. Uh, so you can download the Uno game and play it while we watch this together. I might as well just enable um let me see if I have to. I think I have to refresh this. And my face, oh no, my face is not that big. I thought it was big. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna refresh it, right? By the way, anybody can ask any questions and stuff like that. For some reason this does not want to go. Why? Why is it doing this to me? Do I have to do this? And like make sure everything is right? So by the way, since it is lunchtime and it is what is it, Tuesday? How are we doing today? Let me know in chat. Yeah, it's a Tuesday. All right, if this does not work, unless unless it's wrong. Is it wrong? It is not wrong. Okay. For the time being, right, so that we can start, the show. So like I was explaining earlier that by clicking on the link to download and basically play the Uno game while we listen to this interview, that helps me out directly. That helps the streamer out directly. That helps the content creator out directly. If any of you guys ever was asking your favorite streamer, like, oh, how can I help you more directly? That's one way of doing it, is by downloading anything that's sponsored. I am completely excited and happy that we are sponsored by Uno. This is one of my favorite games, and we'll be able to play it a little bit later. But for the meantime, while we're listening to this and commenting on it, you guys can play along too and hit those goals. And again, that helps me out directly. So the link is in the chat. So by all means, if you are lurking, don't hesitate to click the link, play the game while we're listening to this, and we'll play it a little bit later. I'll open up some rooms and stuff like that. Vortex, I am doing well. I feel like, well rested and stuff like that. We're gonna have some fun listening to this interview here. But yeah, like I said, click that link. That link helps me out directly. And I guess let's get going. Let's hope that everything works. Let's hope that everything works. Nope. Of course it doesn't. So Listen, this is the reality of being a streamer. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it misses. Um, because I forget that you have to also put the desktop audio through it.
Forward at what's next, but this is what I wanted. I gave up on the idea of working for WWE. When I gave up, that's when they wanted me.
When you signed with WWE versus now, it's a huge difference.
The first big jump was after my match with Finn Balor.
After WrestleMania 40, what was that like?
It was emotional. Holding the title in my hand, my entire life flashed. I thought I had regrets.
Okay.
This is the only
Because it's like super loud in my headset. So, um,
You broke me a few times.
Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Hands down, my favorite match just because of what it represented.
What's it gun
that was a really fun match. By the way, that was a really fun match.
World Championship at 41?
My best years are still ahead. I want to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, appreciate you making the time. We've been talking about doing this for so long.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, it worked out. So
Man,
I'm happy to do it.
how's life? Life looks pretty good for you right now.
Weird,
Yeah?
weirdly cool though. And I
1 second. It feels like it's on like a speed timer. But I know it's not. Playback speed is normal. For some reason, it felt like it was going a little too fast.
like one of those things that's everything you want and you have it,
Yeah.
and then it's like a kid in a candy store. You don't know what to pick. You don't know what to do with yourself. It's exciting.
Does it feel like at times that it's all coming at you so fast?
Yeah, I mean it has.
I could agree with that.
Somebody put it in perspective the other day. Um, I've been on the main roster for 3 years. When you really think about all the stuff that's happened in 3 years, this is wild. So it's a lot being thrown at me, and then
He's been on the main roster for 3 years. It feels like it's more than 3 years. Damn, it's been 3 years. A lot can happen in 3 years. A lot can definitely happen in 3 years.
it's one of those things that it's. They say enjoy the moment. It's kind of hard to when you got to like look forward at what's next and what's next and what's next. You know, every once in a while I'll take a breath and look around and I'm like, wow. You know, but it's one of those things that yeah, it's a lot. But this is what I wanted.
How are you able to appreciate the moments when it's fly into a city, do this show, fly to the next city, maybe you're home for a few days, then it's, rinse, lather, repeat.
You just gotta, like I said, you gotta take a breath and really think about it, even if it's while you're laying in bed or, just on a car ride to the building or on a bus to the next town or whatever it is. Look around and really appreciate, this is a different life, something that you couldn't have even envisioned, but you wanted. And those are the moments that I take to really appreciate it. And every now and then it hits me hard, especially like I said when I'm alone and like I have a day home off. I just really like think about everything and just I'm in awe of everything that's happening around me. Like I don't know how this happened, but I'm happy it is.
That night after WrestleMania 40, when you laid in your hotel room in Philly, what was that like?
If I'm being honest, it was emotional. I partied with my friends and family afterwards. We had a celebration. It was a great time. But then when I got back to my room, it was kind of one of those things where I was like, "What is this? Like, how is this happening?"
It was great, man. You
And just
celebrated.
holding the title in my hand, looking at it, and just it was like one of those things. Like my entire life flashed. Everything I had to go through to get to that point, and it was one of those realizations of I thought I had regrets. I thought I wish I could do things differently, and then it was one of those things. Was like, no, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be, and this is the only way it would have happened.
Do things differently. How? If anybody out there saw the Damian Priest documentary on Peacock, you know, he did a lot of things differently in order to get his spot at WWE and managed to stay there, and he improved upon himself, which is great. Sometimes we get into our own heads. And I know we've all been there at one point or another, getting into your own head, getting into your own way and trying to, like, you know, stop yourself or even like sabotage yourself, and you're thinking there with your own thoughts that, like, did you do enough, did you do this, did you do that, what happens if you would have took a different route to get to somewhere else, all those little what ifs, but he doesn't necessarily like have to do that, because that documentary basically proved that he was on the right path the whole time by taking in the constructive criticism, by improving on his physicality, on improving on his storytelling abilities, and like what he really truly loves about professional wrestling. So, like, I would say he was on the right path. It's just that someone like him and other creatives and other like wrestlers, and myself included into that pool, can also agree that the mind is like the worst enemy that we have. It's not even the trolls online, it's not even the hateful comments or whatever. It is all of our minds where, we want to be the best creative in the world. We want to be the best at something because we have a true calling for it. So sometimes your brain is like your worst enemy. So I don't think that he would think about I don't think he should have thought about any kind of regrets. But no, he's exactly where he needs to be because of his dedication to the business, his dedication to himself, his dedication to his passion, and his dedication to like everything that he wanted to do.
When you find success later in your life like that, do you feel like there's a point in your life where you're like, oh man, I just feel like this isn't going to happen for me?
Of course. I gave up on the idea of working for WWE. I tried multiple times to get in, and in 2017, when I got an email saying there's just nothing for you here, I gave up, and I was just focused on, you know what, let me just live a happy life, figure it out. And then they called me, which is crazy how that worked. When I gave up, that's when they wanted me.
Wow.
Um, and it wasn't like I gave up the dream of wrestling. I was still wrestling.
This is when you were with Ring of Honor,
Yes,
right?
yeah. So I was like, I guess I'll just stay in Ring of Honor, and I get to wrestle, and that's what I wanted to do anyway, and it's cool. And they have a well, albeit small at the time, but it was still television program. So I was like, hey, I'm on TV. I'm doing what I wanted to do when I was a kid. It's okay,
Hmm.
And then here we are, WWE. So yeah, there's many, even in WWE, there was many times that I looked around and seeing everybody and how people, some of them were progressing faster than others. And although it happened still fast for me, there were still times that I wasn't sure if it was going to be like that. And, maybe it's cool that I made it, but this is it. It's one of those things like, I don't know if I belong. I don't know if, I don't know what the future is going to be. And not that I gave up, but that I did doubt. And I was like, I don't think this is going to happen. I never thought I was going to be world champ.
It's so interesting because there's a lot of people that are just like, I'm just happy to be here. Like, I'm happy to be signed. WWE was my goal, and now I'm here. Then you push that a little bit further, right?
That was me. When I went to WWE in 2018, that was me. I was happy to be there, but at the same time, like I did the work and whatnot, but then like stuff happens. But yeah, that was me. I could agree to that. That, like, happy to be there. Finally achieved the 7-year-old dream that I had. But yeah,
You have to, like, you set a goal, right? And to me, I was like, I wanted to make it to WWE, and then I made it. Then it was like, well, now I want to be on NXT. Like, I want to be a regular superstar NXT.
I would
I
love to
got to
be
a
on
point where it's like,
NXT.
well, I want a championship. I want this, I want that. Now, actually, I want to get called up. And it's a lot of things like that. But you set short-term goals, but you keep moving forward. And even when you doubt, like I said, like I wasn't sure about things, it didn't mean I stopped and quit. I didn't quit. I still worked very hard, and I still strived for more. I just wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was just being realistic.
But in those moments of self doubt, how do you push it forward from there? How do you get through that and get out on the other side of it?
So I was never a believer in the power of positivity till I decided to change my life around. And when I have those moments of doubt, it's like, all right, well, even though you doubt, still strive for that, because even if you don't make it, you're gonna encounter a lot of cool stuff on the way, on the journey.
Yeah,
If you put your best foot forward, and you give it everything you got, and you work your ass off for your own dream and your own goals, even if you don't make it to the finish line, the stuff you're gonna experience and accomplish on that route, you're gonna be proud. I mean, there's
Yep.
no way you're not. So that's what kept me, pushing.
There was that photo that people were posting of you and Gunther before your match at Money in the Bank. And it was a throwback to what you guys looked like at the start of your career.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to what you guys look like now. When you look at that photo of you back then, who is that guy?
That's exactly what I asked.
I totally misspelled
Like,
Damian's
how did
name.
how did I think that way? How did I?
Hold on. That was mad weird. That little I totally misspelled Damian's name. So if Damian sees this, I'm sorry. Autocorrect, man. Autocorrect.
Pushing.
There was that photo that people were posting of you and Gunther before your match at Money in the Bank. And it was a throwback to what you guys looked like at the start of your career.
Yeah.
And then fast forward to what you guys look like now. When you look at that photo of you back then, who is that guy?
That's exactly what I asked. Who is that guy? Like, how did I think that way? How did I think that was okay to be lazy and complacent and not work your hardest for what you want for your own life? You know what I mean? Like,
That's true.
it's wild to me that it's like a distant memory of who I used to be. Like, I don't know that person. It was like, to me, it's like I watched a movie of a character, but I don't know that person. It's hard for me to imagine being that way again. Like, it's like a former life.
What was the thing that changed in your life?
It's weird because I don't like. I remember the day that I made a big decision. I quit my job. They were offering me more money.
Where were you working?
I was working a club in Atlantic City, free apartment,
Uh
free car. And anybody who knows my
Hey
story knows I don't
Aussie.
have anything. So that was everything, literally everything.
Yeah.
Hey Aussie, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Morning. Yeah, I should be paying attention to Twitch as well. Morning for you and I guess afternoon for me. This is mad weird. But yeah, welcome.
I had nothing saved, nothing, and they were like, "Oh, we're gonna pay you an actual really good salary. Keep the apartment, keep the car. We just need you to stop doing that little wrestling thing you do on the weekends." Without hesitation, I was like, "You have my 2 weeks notice." And then they were like, "Oh, well, if that's how you feel." And I was like, "Yeah, yeah. This is not what I want to do in my life."
Wow.
Walked out of there, and then I was like, "Oh my god."
It's early and you're ready for bed. I came here because there's no video on Twitch. Really, there's no video on Twitch? Okay. That's mad weird. I'm not even. Hold on, I'm not even. It sees that there's video. You know what? All right, so it is just strictly on YouTube. Oh, streams are fine on your end, Vortex. Oh, well, we're gonna continue this on YouTube, so we're gonna do that. Twitch is just a black screen in your most recent video link. I have no idea. I will investigate that like at another time. I just wanted to get this up and running. Yeah. I just wanted to get this up and running.
Oh my god. Oh my god. What did I just do? But and immediately started going to the gym, um, and then dropped all these people that I was surrounding myself with that were basically just telling me what I wanted to hear, on the back, just you're gonna be fine. You're good, man. You're 6'5", like whatever stupid compliment, and I would be like, yeah. What's wrong with everybody else for not giving me everything? I just dropped all those people, surrounded myself with a different type of mindset. Um, yeah, it was like a whole 360. I mean, I completely turned my life around. And again, to the power of positivity, I made a decision. I was like, let me give this a shot. I need something to believe in. Let me try, even though I don't, even though I think it's silly, even though I think it doesn't work, it's not real. And it's crazy how it's not that it's power, you know, it's just when you don't care about the negative stuff, you keep moving forward instead of
That's
sitting
true.
there, you know, just complaining.
Yeah.
You just keep working. So
Yep.
more things are gonna happen for you, and that's how I saw it. I was like, oh wow, now there's an opportunity. Now there's this door opened, and then that's how I got a tryout in with the WWE in 2014 and 2015. Then that's how I got my job in Ring of Honor. You know, like things like that. I just kept on progressing, and I lost like almost 200 pounds.
I think the biggest thing I want to key in on there is try. And I think there's so many people that are just scared to try because
That's true.
they might fail. You know,
That's
one of the outcomes could
Something.
be this doesn't work out, but one of the outcomes is could work out.
exactly, and that's the fear, right? Like you're telling me that I tried my hardest, I gave it my all, and I failed. I'm worthless. You know, I think that's what people think. And when I realized that even if you don't make it, it's still cool. Like everything, like I said, like what I was experiencing when the WWE told me no in 2017, I wasn't even crushed. I was like, okay, you know, like I'm happy. You know, like I wasn't like financially set or anything, but I was happy. I was good, like mentally. I was in a good mental place, so I was okay. And then they called me, and I was like, "To see, like it's crazy how things work. That's why you can't stop because at the end of the day, at least you'll be mentally satisfied. You know, like nobody can take away my effort. Nobody can say I didn't try. Like nobody can take that away from me.
Oh my God. Uh, guys, you get to really see me to be a streamer. Uh, oh my God, you get to really see me be a streamer, man. I had muted my microphone so I could watch the video that Aussie had sent me. Because I didn't know there's gonna be sound, and with the new display, not really display, setup of how my mic is, it is kind of like grabbing other outside sound. So I had my mic off. So listen, if you guys ever want to become a streamer or do videos, you have not made it until like you kept your mic muted, like most streamers do. When you keep your mic muted and then someone in chat very graciously lets you know that like the audio is gone, you are 100% a streamer at that point or a content creator at that point, man. Like, okay. So like I was saying, Aussie, thank you for sending me the video. I saw what happened. I currently have Twitch off, so we're just staying on YouTube at this very moment. And then once we switch over to playing some Uno, then I'll figure everything out. Which I would have to probably like, which I would probably have to shut off the stream and then like come back and we'll play Uno on stream. But yeah, I no longer have Twitch on, so like I don't know the timestamp of you sending the video, but again, I'll check it out and I'll investigate it. But right now, we are staying on YouTube for watching this interview and to basically continue on with Damian Priest saying that like, nobody could take away your effort. Nobody could take away the work that you have done in whatever journey that you're going through, because it is true that like sometimes, like I said earlier, that you get into your own head. You see other people maybe ahead of you in your journey or whatever it is. But you guys got to remember that like in order to be a content creator or in order to be a wrestler or in order to, whatever your dream is. And if anybody wants to like put their dream, oh, you sent it essentially straight after? Oh, okay. Well, you know, it probably, yeah. I'll look into it. But if anybody in chat that is like, watching this or whatnot, if you have like a time, a moment, if you want to drop in like whatever your dream is, just know that your dream and someone else's dream are not the same. Your journeys are not the same. Just like, every wrestler that's out there may not have the same goals as the next wrestler that they're wrestling on the show. Everyone has something different, but it's the effort that they put into their journey that makes it worthwhile. It's the effort that nobody could take it away from them because they are trying. And Damian Priest is completely right. And I wanted to add on to that because it's the same way of like, my dream was to work for WWE, and I went to go work for WWE, and I shouted that at the top of my lungs and told everybody who would ever listen to me about like my dream is to work for WWE, and I went to go do it and I accomplished it. And then when I say online on Twitter that, yeah, I work for WWE, and if they see me tweet a lot about like wrestling and talking about wrestling and giving constructive criticism and talking about wrestlers and like their favorite wrestlers and their favorite company, and if they don't like what I have to say, they want to throw the fact that I worked at WWE back in my face as if like that's some type of like, demotion is not the word, but they throw it back as like they're using it as a weapon to throw it back at me. And like, I let that roll off me because I am very proud of making it to WWE. I actually got off my ass to go to like WWE and make that dream come true, while the supposed negative people and the supposed trolls want to do nothing with their life and don't put effort into whatever they want to do, and they get a good feeling about just making people feel like shit on the internet. Yeah, like Aussie said, they try to do it as some type of gotcha, like, oh my god, you work for WWE, ew, you must believe in this, you must believe in that. And it's like, no dude, it's none of those things. We all have journeys, we all have dreams, and to really wrap this whole thing up into like a nice little neat bow, don't let people throw the effort that you put forth in your journey, the effort that you put forth in whatever you want to make and whatever you want to present to the world. Don't let people throw that back at you as a gotcha moment or even as like a weapon, because they're not doing anything with their lives. Be happy that you're putting in the effort. You might not see it at this very moment, but when you slow down and look at everything, and maybe you have to write something out or type something up for you to see all of your milestones, it's going to make you feel like you have done everything that you set out to do and more, and nobody could take that away from you. And that's what Damian is saying here, that like it is the effort that you put through, the effort that you go make what you want to go make. Don't let people stop you. Don't let people be like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Just tell them to watch you. Take that inspiration from Liv Morgan, where she says watch me. Just do that. If you have a dream to be a wrestler, if you have a dream to be in the business, go about it the right way. Put your dues in. I don't know, I know people don't really like using the you got to pay your dues, but you got to start somewhere to get your foot into the door in order to like jump off of that and like have other doors open for you. And I could just tell you that I'm a testament to that, to have like multiple doors open and I get to pick whichever one I want. But in this sense with Damian, just to get back to his point, make sure you put the effort in whatever it is that you want to do. Make sure that you love what you want to do. If you don't love it, then pivot and find something that you love and, go for it. And I understand that like in this day and age, it's kind of difficult to try to go for what you love, but there's always going to be uncertainty in like any kind of era that we live in. There's always going to be doubts, fears, the unknown, but you know, as long as you're willing to put in the work, as long as you're willing to network, as long as you're willing to talk to people, not even like for like the wrestling stuff, like not even trying to gain access where you're not really helping the company. If you want to, like, you know, do vlogs, backstage stuff, be a broadcaster, you know, do media press, you know, it's a lot more than that. Like, if you go presenting that you go there as a fan just because you want something free, you're not really going to get the opportunities that other people have gotten. And you're probably going to be wondering, like, you know, I put in the effort, but yeah, you put in the effort, but then, you know, you still have to act professional in the setting. You know, we might think that it's all fun and games and everything, but it's really, really not. It's more about being professional, and that's just coming from me. Because every time that I do media press for MLW, I am there very professional. I am running around with a chicken without a head and like videotaping this, videotaping that, talking to the wrestlers, making sure that they're okay, talking to the staff and see if they like need any extra help, if like, you know, everybody is like tied up, but I'm currently, you know, want to help and do what I want to do. And I go and help them if they need me, if they need me wherever, you know, they need me. But most of the time I am recording, I'm checking on wrestlers, and I am basically checking on fans too to make sure they're okay. But for the most part, like, I know this answer and this extra bit got a little like too winded, but it's just to go to show you that like good things happen when you put out the good energy into the world and you let negative comments roll off your shoulder and you go do what you love to go do. And even if like it is very scary in order to do what you love to do, sometimes you gotta take the risk. Sometimes you gotta find alternatives to bring in that income and whatnot. You know, you gotta think smart. You know, the economy of like streaming and income and stuff like that has changed. And if you learn how to play the game, you'll be okay. But again, you got to do what you love. And, you know, nobody can take away your effort. Nobody can. Because obviously they don't know you, they don't pay your bills, they don't like, you know, pay food for you or whatever. They, you know, they can watch from the outside in, get upset at you, talk all this shit online, and let them keep talking while you go do what you got to do. All right, let's continue the interview. And if any of that made sense to you guys, for anyone that is out there lurking, please make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast, because that helps the video. That helps the video get into the algorithm and we can have more people here and more people chatting. And if you agree with me, let me know in the chat.
This episode is brought to you by Rocket Money.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry, dude. I can't. I can't. Hold on.
CVV. Where did you even think that it was possible growing up? You know, born and raised in Puerto Rico, then you
In New York, yeah.
in New York, right? Where do you even think it's possible?
It's wild. It's one of those things. Since I was a little kid, I believed that I was born to do something else, not the norm. Like I wasn't born to do a 9 to 5.
Yeah. And I mean, like just, Puerto Rican descent, like New Yorker Rican, right?
New Yorican.
New Yorican, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
We're
Just knew,
teaching
like
Chris.
there has to be something more for me, you know.
I just can't really play any more like ads since I'm like sponsored by Uno and stuff. Like I can't risk it. But yeah.
thought it was fighting, but UFC was like starting. Basically, it was still illegal in most places.
Yeah.
So like that wasn't a future. If who knows if UFC would have been like it is now, right?
Do you say fighting because you got in a lot of fights?
No, but I did that too. But no, I used to train. My father had a martial arts school, so he was trained in traditional Japanese martial arts, and then he had his own school, and he trained fighters. And obviously I'm the son, so I had to be the best one. So he was the hardest on me. But so I thought that I was pretty good. So I was like, all right, I'll do this. But then there was really nothing to do with it. There's no money. So after I got out of high school, I didn't want to go to school. Like this is not what I'm gonna do with my life anyway. That's the way I thought. And I just, bounced around job to job. And then finally a buddy of mine from high school was like, hey, we always talked about being wrestlers. Why don't we do it? And I've told this story before, but it was one of those things that was funny because I had no idea. I didn't know what indies were. I knew WWF, WCW, and ECW. That's it. That's all that ever existed. And I would see Japanese wrestling in magazines and whatnot, and tape trading or whatever. But I didn't know indies.
Hmm.
And then he was like, but he was like, I was like, what do we do? Just show up to the garden when they're there and just say, hey, we want to wrestle? And like,
That's exactly what you do.
He's like, no, like anything else.
Nah, you don't do that.
You got to train. You got to go to school. And we found the Monster Factory in New Jersey.
Man. And then where does it go from there? Because then it's still a long shot, right?
Yeah. So at the time, there's a system at the school at the time. It's different ownership now, but it was very like secluded. Like it wasn't like we'll train you now. Go venture out.
Hold on. Yeah, the frames are dropping. Okay.
I still, while I was training, had no idea what indies were. And it was basically basic training. I just knew basic wrestling. And I remember when they were going to run their first show in years, a little indie thing at a firehouse in Delaware. I remember them telling me, they're like, hey, you're going to be on the show. In my head, I'm like, I made it. That's it. I'm wrestling at a stadium. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's going to be at this firehouse. And I was like, man, this got to be a big firehouse.
Wait, hold up. You went to a wrestler and asked to do the CVV challenge. Are you talking about that you asked a wrestler to chop you, Aussie? Really? You asked a wrestler to chop you? Did it happen? I don't know why you would, man. I don't know why you would.
It was not. It was like 30 people. No music, no nothing. I just walked out and I was just like, this is awkward. Just tights and no shirt on. Like, it's just so weird.
20 times.
But then afterwards, I was like, oh man, that was cool. Just the adrenaline and everything. And then I fell more in love with it. And then little by little, I started learning, but I still stayed secluded with the school and just doing their shows. And that's it. So nobody, aside from the same people every month, nobody else saw me. And this went on for years because I didn't know.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know any better. And then until I did.
Who were the people that really inspired you when you were watching wrestling growing up?
There's a lot, but the main one was The Undertaker. Never been shy about that one. That was my idol.
Have a funny thing. It's Undertaker and Kane for me that got me into wrestling and realizing that there is a huge spectacle to wrestling, that there is a huge art form to professional wrestling. So that's what me and Damian have in common. Undertaker. But by the way, you guys need to really stop labeling him as bisexual Undertaker. That's a little like creepy, weird, and like should not even happen at all. Like, don't project your fantasies onto like somebody else. Like, don't do that shit. So let's not like call him bisexual Undertaker. Stop it. Just treat him with respect. It's Damian Priest. Treat him with respect.
Watching him, and it wasn't even so much the wrestling. It was just the aura, the presentation, everything that I was like, I remember how I felt. And then that's when I knew, I was like, I need to make people feel this way. I want to be, because I was big into comics, I want to be a comic book superhero or supervillain. Where people are that emotionally invested in me. Like, even as a little kid, I knew that. Maybe I couldn't articulate it that way, but I knew that. And then, obviously then I saw Razor Ramon, who I legit thought was a Latino. As a little kid, you don't know.
We all thought he was a Latino.
Dad, I'm sure he knew, like, this guy was.
Listen, I even thought, Razor Ramon was a Latino. Come to find out he's a white guy that played a Latino. And I was like, oh, all right, can't say anything. Like, I'll give that a pass. The same way that like no one knew that Tunga Loa was Camacho in WWE, and like, you know, he got me. I'll give him the pass to, you know, also be a Latino. So, you know, finding out Razor Ramon was a white guy because of Scott Hall, his real name, and rest in peace to Scott Hall. You know, so yeah, you know, I would always give him the pass. Does not even matter. Does that mean we have to stop saying mommy? No, 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 no. You can, no, no, no. With Rhea, you could definitely continue to call her mommy if she wants to be called that. I just think it's kind of weird and creepy to just automatically label Damian Priest as bisexual Undertaker just because of the stuff that he wears. And like, I just think that's a projection. But if somebody wants you to call them mommy or daddy for stuff, that's fine. I just think that, like I said, the bisexual Undertaker thing is a little too far for me. And it's just like, respect the person. That's all.
Fake accent, you know. But I didn't know. I thought I was like, yo, he's one of us, you know. Then as you get older, you start, you know, you learn of other wrestlers. Sting was another one. I loved Sting, still do. Like just the character, especially when he became the Crow. I thought it was the coolest thing. And then Attitude Era obviously happened. I was in high school, so you know, Austin Rock were my favorites. You know, so obviously Taker was always there.
Yeah.
And then DX, forget it. You know, and I was a Brett fan, but then the NWO took over, and then that was it for me. You know, NWO all the way. So it's funny. I would watch WCW just for the NWO, and then that's it when they
You
weren't on.
switch back.
Yeah, NWO and some of the cruiserweights, and then I would switch back.
That first hour, like when Nitro went to 3 hours and the first hour was cruiserweights,
Yeah.
I was locked in.
Yeah. I had some favorites there. I was a big fan of obviously Ray, Dean Malenko, Sikosis. I was a huge fan of these guys. So
Yeah.
and the stuff they did, Kidman, like I just thought it was so cool because nobody was doing that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, nobody. The closest was ECW, and you could barely see it.
Yeah. There were a lot of parts of your presentation that felt very much like The Undertaker. Like there's one where you're kneeling in the ring, the lights on you, like that looks a lot like The Undertaker.
Yeah, when they presented that to me, they were like, "You're gonna play some mind games," you know. I remember Edge wasn't there that day, so this was like showing representation of Edge, just playing mind games with AJ, and they were like, "You're gonna do this," and I was like, "So I got powers?" They're like, "No, it's just you're just messing with them." It was like you. It's almost as if you planned this. I was like, "All right." They were like, "So kneel down," and so they're trying to explain to me. I was like The Undertaker. They're like, yeah. I was like, "I got it."
He was already prepared for the assignment.
Yeah. I got sucked out. Like they made there was like a sucking sound. It was just weird. It was freaky.
It's like The Undertaker.
Yeah, when people see stuff like that, I know there's some people that's not for everybody's taste. I love stuff like that. I think it's the coolest thing because again, now it's like the comic books, which I was a fan of. So every once in a while, I like doing stuff like that because it's the little kid in me that enjoyed this side of the business.
Do you remember the first time you met The Undertaker?
Yeah, it was 1999 at a autograph signing in the Palisades Mall in New York, Rockland County, New York. Oh man, that day I was doing impressions. There was so many people. There was a long line. I was doing impressions of him, and everybody was trying. I was like, "You got to do it to him." And
Now you got to do it for us.
No. But at the time, as a kid, like I could mimic his voice a little bit, and I would do the eyes. I was good at doing the eye rolls, and I had a trench coat on and his bandana. Like I was decked out. And they're like, "You got to do it to him, you know, like do it for him." And then when I brought up to him, I choked.
Oh, damn, Damian.
I watched wrestling because of you. Know? But he was so nice too, which blew me away.
Seems legit. Checks out.
Right? You're expecting like him to set me on fire. I don't know.
And especially at that time, he's in full character.
Yeah.
Up until recently.
And he was and that was the year where he was banged up, and he was leaving, and then he came back as the American Badass. So he was thinking about retiring. So that's what I said to him. I was like, "Please don't retire." And he was like, "Stop," you know, like he was just cool. And we got a picture shaking hands. I was in my teens. That was the first time I met him, and I won't forget that. I remember.
Oh, in his teens.
And then I remember meeting him again at the Performance Center.
Yeah. So cool. Fast forward to when you're signed with WWE and you meet him again. You know, what's that like?
Yeah, I choked again.
Oh my God.
I was like, You know, like I couldn't even like
Damn,
say my
Damien.
name. You know, it was really funny. Like, and he used just a cool man. What a cool dude.
He's such a good person too.
Yeah,
I don't
he's a
understand
good
what's.
dude, and just
It's getting the
there's nothing
outside
fake about him.
stuff.
Like he's
Yeah.
like he legitimate badass with swag. Like he just carries himself with such a way that it's cool. You know, like you see him and you're like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, I'm glad I looked up to him. Like he's
Yeah.
everything I thought he should be, and he was, and it was cool. And then he got to critique my matches, and
Oh my gosh.
oh yeah, and I went on a different day. So the first time I met him at the PC, basically Eddie, the referee Eddie, one of my best friends, this is the best thing. He texted me, he's here. Out of the
Oh
blue,
wow.
Just he's here.
I knew exactly what he meant.
He's
I was
here.
home. I drove to the Performance Center just to meet him, and then Bloom knows I'm a big Undertaker fan. Is dying laughing. He goes, "You want to say hello?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he brings me over, and of course embarrasses me. You know, in the introduction, they're like, "Hey, this is one of our fans." That's and I'm like, "Man." um, but then later on, like I would go in, like if I knew Taker was gonna be in to work with like the big guys, even though like, and when I mean big guys, it was like Omas, Babatunde, like all these guys that are close to 7 feet tall. So like
Yeah.
I'm small compared to these guys, so I wasn't even invited to the big man class. Um, but I would go, and I would like if he was trying to demonstrate something, and since everybody else was newer, I would be like, yeah, do it to me, you know, and I'd bump or whatever, and just show. So it's kind of cool that I got to work with him, you know, literally
Yeah, that
physically
is
work with
cool.
him,
Yeah.
while demonstrating stuff. I mean, he just beat me up, but it was
Yeah.
it's coolest beating of
You're
my
in
life.
the ring with the Undertaker.
It was so cool, and again, like I said, he was man, and he's even then, like he was so good. Like everything, his explanations were very clear and understanding, but then just like his punches and everything was so perfect. And I was just like, this is incredible.
If you're wanting to burn some extra calories or
I'm sorry, bro.
Old Spice
Ah,
Genuine
my
Super
God.
Hydration Body Wash. Vanilla and shea. 24/7 more.
and the code CVV to save 15.
Performance Center, just during the COVID era. Um, I don't know. I can't even explain what happened that day. It was just something clicked, and I just let loose. And I remember getting to the back, and Sean and Hunter were waiting for me, and he was like, "That's the guy I need to see from now on. There's no going back. That guy that was out there, that guy's money. Like you have to be that guy always." He would stop pretending. You know, and Hunter told me, and it's cool because Hunter told me he gave me advice that I guess Taker had given him. And he goes, when Taker told me this once, when you learn how to just be yourself, you're gonna make a lot of money in this business.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, I know that's weird because how the hell do you not know yourself? It's you. And sure enough, I was like, yeah, what the hell does that mean? And then I figured it out. It's just we try to be a version of ourselves that we think everybody else expects, which is not you. You're still pretending. I think now is the closest to really me that you see, you know, especially with the Judgment Day and Rhea. That's you saw a different version of me, you know, and I like that I could show off different layers. Like when I did work with Truth, you know, that just showed a different layer to me. Like, oh, I'm a normal person, you know, but
Yeah.
still I'll kill you, you know. um, but yeah, going back, it was that moment with the match with Finn Balor. He just brought something else out of me, and then Finn and I became boys because after that match, because I was
Of
like,
course.
oh man, I'd love to do that again. And he was ecstatic about it, and he chose me because at the time I think he was supposed to go into a program with Gunther. The pandemic happened; he couldn't. They just couldn't work, and I think they asked him like, well, who would you like to work with? And he picked me,
Wow.
and I'm grateful for it.
This stuff with Art Truth is so good.
Oh, Ronnie.
Let's talk about our truth, man.
Oh,
Our
that
truth is
guy. I
great.
mean, look, it goes without saying. At some point, we're gonna have to team. Like we're gonna have to properly. The guy is unbelievable how talented of a performer he. Actually, I can't even say he's a performer. That's him.
Wow.
Because we're in the locker room or backstage, just walking by off camera, and like guy has me in tears sometimes laughing. It's unbelievable how funny he is, and just his natural way of being. He's just a funny guy and a really lovable person. So everything you see on TV, that's real. That's why, and it's clear as day that he broke me a few times.
Yes. It seems like his goal is to get you to break, when you're
Yeah.
on camera.
Yeah,
Of course
I
it is.
remember Hunter also telling me, like laughing. Hunter himself was laughing about it. He was like, "You have the worst poker face when you're around Truth." It's like, what am I supposed to do, man? Like he does it to everybody. It is what it is. I really enjoyed working with him, and I almost feel like
That's
Carlito
true.
was like a different version of that comedy. Just bringing a different aspect and a different layer to the Judgment Day. Or to me specifically, I think Carly does that a lot because like I react to stuff and then as soon as they're like, okay, and I just dying laughing, and I'm like, bro, you're really funny. I love working with Carlito.
What's the one where truth got you the worst?
Oh man, there's a few, but the one that always comes to mind is we were in the ring, and I know he said something about I could see it in your eyes or something, and I turned around because I was supposed to be serious, like I wanted to be serious in that moment, for me.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't told to, but I wanted to be serious. So I turned around to laugh, and the cameraman is right there on me. And that's what showed on TV was me laughing and then turning back around serious. That one always stands out to me just because it was in the ring. But there's a bunch of backstages that I just couldn't have. I couldn't help it. It is what it is.
I
Yeah,
feel like
you
the
just have to
promos
go
you
with
cut
it.
now feel so effortless. What's the work that you've put in on your promos over the last few years to make it feel so seamless?
Before and after anytime I have to speak, I'll go to somebody like specifically Heyman. And he just constantly reminds me of like, where are you from? He goes, you from New York? And I'm like, yeah. He goes, why don't you talk New York?
Oh,
And I just gotta
can't wait for
remind
that.
myself of stuff like that. And then he'll critique my delivery on stuff. And then he's always like, don't worry about, don't try to force remembering what you're gonna say, because then you lose yourself. Just
Yeah,
talk,
that's true.
and um, feel what you're saying and react accordingly. Because you don't have to pretend. You don't have to go out there. And then I think just having those things said to me over and over. Now, when I go out, I'm not so much worrying about a script or what I plan on in my head to say. I know what I have to talk about, and just talk and react.
Mm.
And I feel more comfortable. I really do. And I think
He
the
sounds more
Judgment Day
comfortable
obviously
too,
helped with
right?
that. Having people
What
to
do you
fall
guys
back on,
think?
especially when we were all talking. So it's like conversational. It just having your friends there made it so much easier. Like they took pressure off of you.
In those backstage segments with the Judgment Day, your voice booms through, right? Because you've got this, deep voice, but it catches your attention, right? So if you're in another part of the room or if you're looking at your phone and they hear your voice, it's like, oh, damn.
That's
I want to
true.
listen to this now.
Yeah, it helps. The voice definitely helps. With whether
He
it's
got a deep ass
intimidation or
voice.
just standing out and drawing attention, it definitely does help. Coming from a 6'5" guy, it definitely seems imposing. So I'm glad I was blessed with the deep voice.
You ever thought about doing voiceover work?
Yeah, but I guess it's one of those things that, like what I learned when I was with my buddy when I was younger. With like, you got to go to school for something, right? Because I was like, well, how do you do that? You just show up and just be like, hey, I can talk. I got a voice. No, sure you have to go train for that too, so, in some way. So, but that'd be something, of course, once I'm done wrestling. Why not? It's probably a lot. I would guess. I would hope it's a lot less painful.
I would assume so.
I would assume so. Yeah.
And that's something you can do till you're 100 years old too. Just talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, of course, that's there. I got the voice. Might as well.
I feel like you could be like the new James Earl Jones, or it's like Darth Vader's voice, or you could just say
What?
this is CNN. That's the big, deep, booming voice.
Yeah, we got options.
You've got plenty.
We
of
got options. Very,
And
yeah.
I feel like it just works so well with the promos that you cut. You're big, you're tall, you're dark, you're intimidating, and you've got the voice too. It all comes together.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You work where you got, and I've been blessed with, like I said, like you said, the side and the voice. So I used it to my advantage, just like others before me did. You know, Scott Hall, Undertaker, these guys that had imposing voices and size.
Yeah.
And they used it.
Yeah. Let's go to Backlash in Puerto Rico. First of all, when it gets announced, what does that mean to you?
It was when it became official, because what a lot of people don't know, that there was back and forth, that it almost didn't happen in Puerto Rico. And plain and simple, I don't think we would have done the match if it wasn't in Puerto Rico. Like, we were only going to do the match. It was in Puerto Rico. So when they announced, Backlash in Puerto Rico, I was like, okay, this is real. This is happening. The island is getting a little shout out. We get to represent, and for me, it was always, of course, I'm very proud Puerto Rican, but it was
Can't hear the volume on the video. Well, hold on.
just representing the Latin community, all Hispanics. That to me was, look, opening the doors for a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that Puerto Rico did, but look at how many PLEs we're doing outside the immediate country. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the crowd reaction there was like, got the company excited for, man, let's see what else they can do.
Mm.
And so we were excited and thrilled for that representation. Obviously, I was nervous in the idea of, this has got to be really good. It's me versus Bad Bunny, one-on-one, in a high-profile match. This isn't just a typical celebrity match. They do 2 or 3 moves, and it's hi, bye. Like, we're
Okay.
going to go 20-plus minutes. Have to get everybody emotionally invested into this. And it's more than just people clapping hands for a
That should be
celebrity.
good.
People needed to feel sympathy, excitement, fear, all of it. That's what you want. So that there was nerves in that sense.
By the way, Denisha, I think I pronounced it correctly. Thank you for tuning in, even though you are. Oh, you just got home from work. I thought you were at work, but thank you for tuning in.
I knew that the work was going to be put in on Bunny's side. Like, I did not worry about him not being ready, but you never know of how things are going to play out. So
That's a lot of confidence in you as well to be able to carry the majority of that match and make him look good.
And I would think there had to have been a concern in the office too. Like, yes, there's confidence in me, but at the same time, there had to have been like, did we make the wrong decision here? There has to be.
Clearly, they did not make the wrong decision.
Thank you. I don't think so either. I don't think they do either. But I'm sure beforehand, because there was talk of changing it to a tag match.
That'll be the easier way to do it,
But
to change it to tag
at the
match.
same time, Bad Bunny and I were very adamant. We were like, we don't want to do a tag match.
Yeah, let's not do
And
that.
I was proud of that one because, obviously I helped train Bad Bunny. I pieced this match together the way I envisioned it, and he did as well. Like, he had input and he had great ideas. And then I was very adamant about other representation. Like, I wanted to use the LWO. I requested Carlito and Savio. Maybe requested it under the guise of, Bad Bunny thought it was a good idea. But they added so much, especially for the crowd. Like, it was a cool moment. Like, it wasn't a typical match. So it's like, well, then let's go all out.
Yeah.
If we're going to do it, let's go all out. And it was great that everybody was receptive, and they thought it was the right move. And clearly it was. I mean, every moment of that match I thought was great. Hands down, my favorite match, just because of what it represented. It was bigger than any win or loss.
Yeah.
When you were standing in the ring and his music hits, and it's one of the loudest reactions ever for an entrance, what are you thinking?
Oh my God. It was overwhelming. Like, and I've said this, I never felt a ring like rumble or shake. Like, not what
The hell was that in my headset? Whoa. I found you from Phil Marks. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen you been a very, very awesome mod for Phil. Yeah. So I've seen your name pop up. But I would like to say welcome to the family. Thank you for tuning in. And appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that I'm amazing and that I am good on podcasting. I just love what I do and get passionate about it. And I want to say thank you for being here and watching this together with us.
Well, you're standing in there, you know, because you don't just don't feel it. I actually felt the mat shake during his entrance, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy." And I even took a second to look around, you know, during his end because it was just it looked like a wild scene, like it was a mixture of a concert with I don't know, but like a Woodstock type of. It was insane.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
You got goosebumps as you're talking about it. It's crazy.
And that, you know, and it's funny because the following year, obviously, I faced Jay in France at Backlash, and that entrance was insane. I feel like if you want to have the greatest entrance of your life, face me at Backlash.
That's true. I guess
Quick
that's
timeout here.
true.
Blue Chew has
Oh
sponsored
my God. I'm sorry, Chris. Ah. I'm so sorry.
Blue Chew for sponsoring the episode.
Yeah, it was like everybody, every single person in the audience was singing his song.
That was incredible. I mean, since then, now it's like common now. You see everybody does sing-alongs,
nobody's saying Randy Orton's theme. And then
now they do.
Now everybody sings it.
Now they do.
I'm sure it wasn't like I'm sure some did, but not to the scale, just like Cody's song. You know, people do the whoa and they sing along, but it wasn't the whole song.
Yeah,
it might be certain parts.
Yeah,
it's not 100% everybody. This was like literally 100% the entire arena.
Yeah,
it's the first time I've ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, and I think a testament to you and a testament to the hard work that Bunny put in. The match was good, and whenever you put a celebrity in a match, you kind of go, I don't know. Could be fun, but is it going to be good?
Yeah, right.
Good. So congrats to both of you.
Thank you. No, and that was
I enjoyed it.
It was both. Like we had fun. Probably me more than him because he was in a lot of pain.
What hurt him the most? He's just not used to bumping.
Everything.
Well, that's the thing. It's like when we were training, and it was one of those things that I was like, we got to train a little harder than we did the last time. I was like, and I explained to him, I was like, I'm going to hit you really hard. I was like, I have to. This is one-on-one. I was like, it's a street fight. I was like, I need you to not hold back. Like, you're in a street fight for real. Give me all you got. I was like, I'm not going to give you all I got because you'll die, but I'll give you a lot. And I did, and I gave it to him. And, you know, that was the one thing, you got to respect the guy that's not from this business. His body's not used to taking that much physical, you know, impact. And he kept on getting up, you know. Granted, he told me that it took him a few weeks to recover.
A few weeks.
He messaged me like 3 days after, and he was like, I finally feel good enough to walk around.
Oh, damn.
He was like, I barely come out of my bedroom. Like, I've been in so much pain. He was, I feel like I've been in a train wreck.
Wow.
And I think the worst thing for him was one of the Kendall shots. And I only gave him one. He gave me like 20 of them. I gave him one shot. But I did tell him, I was like, I'm only going to hit you once. Don't worry. And he goes, oh, okay. He goes, you sure? I was like, yeah, I'm sure. And it was I swung like a baseball bat.
Then you rode that momentum, I mean, really into Money in the Bank, right? So when did they tell you you're going to win Money in the Bank?
Shortly after, it was like, you know, after that moment, great moment, great for the community, great for the island. But now what?
Mm-hmm.
I just lost to a celebrity at the end of the day, right? Like, okay, that was bigger than anyone lost, like I said, but the show continues.
Sure.
So now we got that business done, but now what happens to Damian Priest, the character on TV?
Mm-hmm.
So I had those questions, and then, but I think I don't know if it was already the plan, but after that match, like they knew they could trust me, like more than ever.
Which is 100% true.
Within a few weeks, but then it was with always that wording of things can change.
Yeah.
But as of right now, the plan is. And I'm, you know, obviously fortunate that plans did not.
Did they tell you you're going to win, and then the idea is you're gonna have this really cool WrestleMania moment.
No. That's one of those things like we'll see what happens. You know, when I won the briefcase, I wasn't sure if I was going to cash in that night.
Wow.
You know, they don't tell you everything. Just putting that out there. I know people think that we know. No, they might have a long term plan, which I know they did.
Yeah.
But they don't really articulate it fully to you. Probably for the also the reason of they don't want you to get amped up and hyped, and then sorry, things changed.
Yeah.
Then you're heartbroken. You know, like 'cause that's not cool either. So I'm pretty
We
sure
don't want
they
that.
like to keep it, you know. But but when they do tell you, they tell you but you know things can change. So take it with a grain of salt, type of thing.
That WrestleMania moment was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So before your music hits, you're standing backstage. What are you feeling?
I just wasn't. I couldn't believe it was happening. You know, like that whole day, I didn't think. I knew that there was a possibility of things. They told me the day before that look, things can change. We've seen things change.
Yeah.
We saw it at Money in the Bank when Brock won the briefcase. They came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, like, and that was a decision in that day, apparently, from what I hear. So, to me, I was like, what if Brock's music hits? You know, like, I don't know. Just anything. Or at the last second, they're like, hey, don't cash in. You know, do something or whatever. I don't know. But then a part of me was like, should I just go into business for myself?
Man.
No, so like the whole day, I didn't want to have the same conversation with the talent and just everybody in the building of, are you cashing in today? What are you doing here? So I stayed hidden for me, not because I didn't ask me to hide. I stayed hidden for me just because I didn't want to have these conversations. Only like the Judgment Day and Roman, because he saw me in the room. Like very few people knew where I was all day. And even still all day, I was just settled.
Hey, Lucy, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping by.
Settle down because we don't know if this is actually going to happen till it happens. And that's how I treated it. But then when I went up to Gorilla right before the match started, then it was like, oh boy, is this really going to happen? Oh boy, you know? And then I'm sitting there just watching the match and I'm just trying to stay focused on the match and enjoy the match as a viewer to hold my nerves together. But when that bell rang and I was like, oh, this is happening. And I look around, there's nobody telling me no. I was like, everybody's relaxed. Nobody's coming up to me to be like, hey, don't change your plans. All right.
It's happening.
I'm not listening to nobody right now. It's like, it's over. And that music hit and I was like, oh. Right before I ran out, all I was thinking about was, I'm not going to sprint because God forbid I trip and fall. I was like, I'm going to have a good stride, watch my steps, make sure I don't trip over the mat. I don't want to do the funny around the corner, just comfortable.
Yeah. Look cool.
Forgot all about that as soon as the music hit. Just jetted down, just went around, almost fell. Like around the corner. Thank God I didn't slip. I hit Drew so hard with that briefcase. And it went flying. I didn't even know where it was. It almost ended up in the crowd. Can you imagine? There goes my cash in. You guys up in the crowd and somebody runs off with the briefcase.
Yeah.
So I hit him and it left and I didn't even know where it was. And then it landed in front of me after I took like 5 steps. And I was like, oh, give it to Eddie to cash in. But man, that was when he hit the 3. I just felt so like mission accomplished. Wow, that was a cool one, and that's one of those that I took it in. I really I was in tune. Like as soon as the 3 hit, I was very in tune with what was happening. Like I looked, like I screamed. I looked at the crowd. I see, and that was the other thing. The fact that the way they reacted. Of course, they were more reacting because everybody wants to see something special, something cool. It's not because they were cheering for me. I understood what it was, but it was still that Philadelphia crowd made it 10 times better than what I would expected because of how they reacted and their energy. They were hyped, and that, of course, now gets me going. You know. So I gotta thank that crowd at WrestleMania for making it extra special.
There's a lot of people that think like, oh man, I'm 28. I'm way too old to do this. I'm 34. I'm way too old to do this. You win your first world championship at 41. You're not too old for nothing.
No, the world has changed. Like when they say my age out loud, like you just did, like
I'm the same age, so that's why I said it.
Denisha, I appreciate that. I really don't have much mods. My awesome other mod is Vortex. I still think she's a mod, but either way, like my other best buddy is Vortex. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'm still new into the world of like asking for mods and having mods, just so you know. So I'm just new to it. I do appreciate you, and I also appreciate you helping out Phil over on his channel as well. So I don't want to overwhelm you, but you know, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you saying that you're here for that. I just want to let you know. This isn't a no, just so you know. It's not a no. It's just I'm still new to that kind of thing. Also, for everyone that is viewing and lurking, I appreciate you guys. And I'm doing my own kind of like marketing because for some reason one of the main links is not really working. If you guys don't know, to in addition to watching this and whatnot, we are sponsored by Uno, which I really do love to play Uno, and we'll play Uno in a little bit right after this interview video is done. We'll play some Uno. And then yeah, so you could download it. That helps me out directly. That helps out the creator. If you guys ever want to know how to help out a creator directly, especially when you know, you're always like, okay, you know how you hear about content creators don't really get a fair share of like the revenue share, especially when it comes to like subbing and stuff like that. And because this channel here, the Square Circle Podcast, is not in the YouTube partnership program, so I have to like get sponsorships and stuff like that to help out. So by downloading the Uno game, playing the game, reaching level 10, that helps me out directly as a content creator and a streamer, and it's basically one of my favorite games to play. And we'll play it together in a little bit once this interview is done, but I'm just letting you know that like content creators has a lot more options now, and there are a lot more ways to help your favorite content streamer creator in a very direct way, and that's one of the ways. Obviously, liking the live stream, sharing the live stream, letting people know that we're live doing something cool, that helps as well too. It's the long game. It's a marathon and not a sprint when you want to be a content creator. But I'm just throwing it out there in chat. The link is there. If you want to download the game, play Uno with me, and we'll start doing that in a little bit. But that is how you can directly really help out content creators by doing that and helping out with the sponsored stuff. Aussie, I appreciate you like always, man.
Reminds me, wow, I
Yeah.
would have never guessed that. It reminds me of like, oh wow, I actually am that age, but I don't think that way. I don't feel that way.
Yes. I feel the same way.
Maybe I'm because I'm immature. I don't know.
That probably helps.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
That probably
But
helps, I
like,
guess.
when people are like, "Well, how many more years do you think you can do this?" And I'm like, I don't know, a lot,
Yeah.
because I'm fine, you know. And once I start getting stuff fixed, I'll be even better.
Yeah.
So like, I don't see any like, I'm not going anywhere.
But I think it's the idea there of like, there's probably a point in your life when you're like, this isn't going to happen anymore, and I'm only going to keep getting older. Well, now you're at a point where it's like, well, I'm a world champion. Life's only going to keep getting better from here.
It's got
Pretty much.
like that's
Right?
exactly the way I'm thinking.
You got to
You
go
know,
up
I'm
and
not
not
the first to
down.
do it. There's guys way older than me that have been able to continuously have success, and not just in wrestling, just in anything that they set their minds to. So I feel like I'm good. Like I have a lot left, in wrestling and just entertainment business as a whole. So I'm pretty confident that, yeah, like to your point, I feel like my best years are still ahead.
Who instilled this in you? Who instilled this mindset in you that you can accomplish anything?
Like I said, I just decided to think the opposite of what I used to.
I love that.
Of course, you get advice from a lot of different people, family, friends, you know, people that you look up to, idols, but ultimately it's on you to make the decision of what you're going to do with yourself and your life. And just the choice I made, I was like, if I truly believed since I was a kid that I was destined for more than just the average, then it's got to be, and I gotta be this way. I have to be this way, and I have to be not just confident, just positive, and willing to do what it takes.
When you talk about life outside of wrestling, there was talk about you being in Black Panther too.
Yeah,
What ended up happening there?
it's a long story, but
Stuff happens.
basically, it got taken away from me, but not from Marvel.
Did you have the role?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Because I know earlier on it was like you were reading for the role, you were auditioning for it, so you got the role.
Yeah.
And I think we can read between the lines here that
Yeah.
you know the regime was a little bit different at that time.
Exactly.
Maybe you need
Mhm.
another Marvel opportunity.
It'll be cool. I'm ready.
I,
No.
I feel like it could
No.
happen now.
Well, and it's funny because now I'm busier than ever. So, and look, come what may, I'm good with it. You know, maybe I do something like that. I go a different route, and I'm not sitting here with you as the world champ. You know, like being a world champion. Like
That's true, yeah.
I won a world championship at WrestleMania. Like I don't know if that happens.
Yeah.
So, look, and I said this before. Like I live a certain way now that I can't look and regret.
Yeah.
I can't think about stuff that didn't work out my way. I got to think about what's next and what else I can do positively for myself. So
Yeah.
it didn't work. It didn't work out. Not the end of the world. The movie was great though.
It was a great movie. But you're right. Everything happens in life. Like if this thing doesn't happen, then this thing doesn't happen. And then maybe you're not, you know, seeing your money in the bank. And then maybe you don't cash in at Mania. And then. And all of that added up becomes the person who's sitting here in front of me right now. There's no reason to live in regret. You know?
Exactly.
That's true.
Especially when there's so much positive to come.
Yeah.
Like we don't know.
Yeah.
So there's no point of being miserable over something that did or didn't. But it's, you know, you can't go back in time. At least not yet. So
Yeah. Maybe one day.
maybe one day.
Tell us something about Rhea Ripley that we might not know.
Oh, she's a cornball. I mean, I think we've, in different, whether it's interviews or in the ring or just social media, we pretty much, we're out there of how we are and you know, what people know about us. She's my favorite person. Like, she really is. That's my homie, ride or die. Like, love her to death. You know, it's nothing I wouldn't do for her. But yeah, she's corny as hell sometimes.
She was wearing, when we interviewed her yesterday, she was wearing like these 9-inch
Ridiculous.
heels on
Yes.
these spiky boots.
She sent me a video that the fans were taking,
Yes.
the walking down the ramp.
Yes.
Yeah, holding onto my shoulder. She was like, I'm not going to make it. And I was like, hold on. You know?
What's funny is her wearing those heels, she's almost as tall as you.
Which I was like, what's wrong with you? And like, Hunter sees her and he's like, of course. Then he actually told a funny story from NXT. He was like, it was almost like a competition between her and Raquel of who can seem taller. He was like, I would do these interviews instead of stand next to them and I'm just looking at Raquel and Rhea. And I started laughing because I do remember those days that they were like doing it as almost like a rib to each other to see who could.
Oh
be
my
taller.
god.
Yeah.
So they would wear these ridiculous platforms and they're like 6'4", 6'5".
Makes no sense,
And
man.
she's already
I don't
very
understand.
tall.
Yeah, exactly. So this is not necessary.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
So listen, I just want to quickly talk about fashion statements. I am not the most like fashionable person and I wear you know, whatever I want to wear and I feel comfortable with it. The only time you guys will ever catch me in like a heel shoe form would have to be like a sneaker wedge. Like that's the only thing that I can walk in is a sneaker wedge, and I love sneaker wedges. I still have like only one pair of sneaker wedges, and that's from Skechers, because I do end up buying Skechers sneakers or anything that's like on sale for like $20 that can last forever. Like I don't really shop name brand anymore. I used to. But after a while, I was just like, that's like way too expensive. It makes no sense. But I now buy stuff that like I feel comfortable in. But I would just get myself, some sneaker wedges, some sweatpants, maybe some really good leggings, depending on how they look, t-shirts, graphic tees. If I need to buy something that like makes me look cute for dressing up for an occasion, sure. But yeah, I'm not wearing no 9-inch heels. Like I don't know how you ladies do that shit. I really don't know how you guys can run around on heels on very like skinny stilettos, and I don't know how female wrestlers end up going into the ring and fighting with those on, and I'm just like, you could break your ankle. I'm more for being comfortable. And plus anyway, I've always been a tomboy my whole entire life. So like I go with the most comfortable thing there is in the world, which is like sneakers, sweatpants, jeans, a t-shirt, a hoodie, anything that's like comfortable and like snuggable and comfort basically. I don't really get dressed up unless like I need to get dressed up. For the most part I do like efficient kind of stuff. Yes, I don't know how they ended up like doing that kind of stuff. Like how do you guys walk around on these fucking heels, man? I don't get it. I really don't. But not to say that like you shouldn't or you can't. You could do whatever you want. You could dress up however you want, but to me when I see it I'm just like I don't understand. You guys have like far more power beyond me to do that, and I think that you guys have a better engagement on like your core, meaning like your stomach area, like your core area. And I also think that like you guys just told gravity to, F off. And that, you'll just be the cute one going down whatever and wearing these big ass heels. But um I just want to say that like I like to be comfortable in like what I wear. But I will wear sneaker wedges because they are cute. Um I haven't worn my sneaker wedges in years, so if I were to try to do it, my calves will lock up because I haven't wore that. But that's like the closest thing to get me into like heels to be a girly girl. Like I'm not a girly girl. I am one of those tomboys that, like to play rough and tough. Basically that's what it is.
Necessary.
Where do you see things going from here? Like life is pretty great if you're Damian Priest right now. How does it continue to keep going up?
It's one of those things that I don't know what it is, but there's got to be more, and I'm just gonna keep striving for more. Obviously I've accomplished some goals, but there's still more. Like I want to be in the Hall of Fame. So I got a lot of work to do. Like I said, I've only been in the main roster for 3 years. I feel like I need a few more and a few more at a high level. I need just more moments. For me to enjoy with my friends and family. There's a lot more to Damian Priest to go that I need to happen, so that when I actually am done, I could be like, man, I did everything.
Mm,
And I haven't done everything yet. So
yeah.
that I want to do it all. I want to work with everybody. I
Yeah.
want to have every moment possible.
I feel
Every
like that too.
You used to do hit the lights as your finisher. What was the conversation of like, that looks a lot like the Crossroads, Cody's coming back, you can't use that anymore?
that was pretty much the conversation. Actually, they didn't say you can't do it anymore. It was like a conversation of, look, obviously it's a similar move. It's different, but it's still similar. Like I do it differently, but it's one of those things. They're like, you might wanna, but they never said change it. And even Cody was like, you didn't have to change it. I was like, yeah, but if you come back and I'm doing this move, every time I hit it, people are gonna think of you.
But who had it first?
Hmm.
Actually, I don't know the answer.
I mean, Tess did it.
Yeah.
So that's
That's also
I don't-
similar to
I
Play
don't
of the
even
Day?
remember.
Skipper used to do that. You look Skipper.
yeah, that's similar.
Similar, right? Kind of.
I mean, I think even Steiner did it.
Okay, all right.
The move's been done.
Yeah.
It's a rolling cutter.
Yeah, variations.
Oh,
of
the
it.
rolling cutter.
So,
Okay.
and he has his own twist, the way he hooks the arms and twists back
Yeah.
and forth. I would do it more with, taking my arm out and spinning underneath. But it's at the end of the day, it's a rolling cutter, right? So, and I was okay with it. So basically, anytime I face Cody, I'm gonna hit him with it. but it's a move. It's not that serious. Like, I think everybody else thinks of it more serious than we do. I really didn't care. Like, I was like, okay, I'll just go back to using the South of Heaven or razors or the flatliner that I do. I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use.
Yeah, you're like, I've got a lot of moves.
Yeah, and I haven't even started doing submissions yet.
Oh,
So, which I got a few. But
that's
yeah,
a page right out of the Undertaker's book.
Hmm.
Wow.
yeah, and I have a different version of a Gogoplata. So,
Okay.
but that's what I mean. Like, there's a lot of stuff that we can do. Like, I wasn't mad. I wasn't upset. Like, I knew it, and I just didn't want people to think of him every time I did a move. You know what I mean? Like,
That's true. You
it's
don't
one
really
thing
want
paying
that.
homage to somebody. Is one thing doing a similar move to somebody who works somewhere else. But when they're working in the same company, on the same show,
Yeah.
it's all right. There's got to be a difference.
When you premiered the documentary at SummerSlam, what was it like watching it with that audience?
Odd. It was, although I was behind a curtain watching,
Oh,
it was very uncomfortable. I remember Punk was sitting right next to me, and I would pretend to be on my phone sometimes just because I was feeling uncomfortable with certain scenes. Just whether I was speaking or somebody in my family was speaking, and it was emotional parts, I would just pretend like I was not paying attention just because I needed to distract myself. And it was because it was a weird feeling of seeing something about you around a theater full of people and then around some friends. It's not something you're used to.
Mm.
But Punk was super cool with it. He was like, dude, this is so good, He was like, don't feel embarrassed. And I'm like, bro, this is weird, But it was odd. But also, I was proud because at the end of it, it kind of reminds you of your whole journey because it's not something you think about all the time. Like I said, I think forward all the time, like today, tomorrow, next month. Like, I'm looking ahead, not necessarily just constantly thinking about what I've been through.
Yeah.
This was like a crazy reminder, even though I did a sit-down interview about it. But as soon as I was done talking, it was, all right, go about your day.
Mhm.
This was different sitting there and watching it and then watching clips and pictures and having your family talk about it. I don't really talk to my family about that stuff. So it was a lot. It was heavy. But I was proud at the end of it. And then the reaction to everybody it was pretty neat.
How did it even get pitched to you that they wanted to do a documentary?
So I went to Connecticut to the headquarters for like some other interviews. I think I went to do the bump and do some other content. And then I was just telling stories. And then when I was done, one of the producers came up to me. He's like, I'm not sure if we're going to use this. He goes, but I'm going to show this to some of the execs. I think this is going to develop into something more. I didn't even know what he meant by that. I was like, okay, like what? Oh, all right, whatever. Just had me come out here, just talk for an hour and then like for nothing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize what it was. And then they came back. They're like, remember when we told you? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, okay, so we want to do a documentary on you. And I immediately said no. I was like, no way, no shot. No. I was like, to show my personal side, like my personal life. I show glimpses.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked a little bit about it. Very, sporadic. Like, once in a while on the social media, I'll post something, but I really don't do personal life too much. I'm Damian Priest. Damian Priest is completely different.
Mm.
But then they convinced me with the idea of maybe.
Forced to go rogue, hunted from within. This is Call of Duty Black.
what? How do we get a Call of Duty? Oh my God. I
Ops
can't even
6.
skip this.
Pre-order now.
Well, for all of my gamers out there that
For mature.
like Call of Duty.
Before Shopify, were you
Oh
wondering
my
where all
God.
sales at? But now
I
you're
can't
selling
skip
with
this.
Shopify. You're easily selling online, in person.
I
and
swear,
beyond.
man.
Discover how millions of entrepreneurs use Shopify to ignite their selling. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/YouTube audio.
Yeah, Priest is super cool,
Somebody-
man. Like, I would love to be friends with Priest, man. I would love to be friends with him.
who's in a similar spot that you were in can listen to your words and see your journey, and it could change their life.
Yeah.
The moment they said they worded to me that way, I was like, oh, yeah, fine. Like, of course, like if I can inspire, like, and that was the thing, if I can inspire one person, just one, um, to change something for the better for themselves, it was worth doing it.
I feel like in that promo that you did with Gunther, that inspired a lot of people. He's talking about your upbringing, and maybe it wasn't as good as his. And I think
Hey Scully, what's up? Cool, yeah. I realized that. I realized it was you, the We Want Hendry guy. Welcome to the stream, man. Welcome to tuning in and watching me react to Damian Priest's interview. I couldn't remember your name when I was doing the Twitter space. When I was giving a shout out to everybody, I just remember like the hashtag We Want Hendry. So thanks for joining. Thanks for joining.
I think there's a lot of people that see a truth in that and go, man, the way I grew up maybe wasn't that great. Damian Priest is my guy.
That's the thing, and that's why I was okay with it. Once it got worded in a certain way and explained, yeah, because people can relate.
Yeah.
There's a lot more people struggling than there are people that are sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just the unfortunate reality of the world. So, but I am one of those not supposed to's. So if I'm here, I'm sitting here with you talking about this right now. Why should anybody else? It's possible. It's all on us.
Gunther really went in on you on that promo.
Yeah.
It wasn't very nice at all.
And I really went in on that right hand. If you see the way he dropped, like that, there's no phoniness in that. To be fair, I may have told him to say that.
Oh.
But it
Okay.
still got me hot when you hear somebody else say it.
It makes a lot more sense now.
But it was, especially with the amount of time that we had to put in to make our match at SummerSlam worth, people's interest. We needed to get personal fast and make it intense, and I think we accomplished that.
Yeah, what's a Gunther chop feel like?
I can't even. There's no explanation. There's nothing you can compare it to. I don't know. Grab a frying pan and have somebody swinging as hard as they can against your chest.
Damn.
Like, and it's him, Drew. Like these guys, just with these heavy hands, just ginormous people, and they perfected the art of slapping, which is crazy.
Right?
It's ridiculous. It's brutal. I mean, you see how you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other word for it. It sucks. I hate being marked up like that and it doesn't go away right away. You just mark
No,
up
of course
and
not.
Take a shower, it hurts. Take a deep breath, it hurts. You put on a t-shirt, it hurts. Like, it all hurts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not fun.
Was it your idea to rebrand the Money in the Bank briefcase? Yeah. To make it Senior Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
It's great because everybody knows your heritage, but now it's in front of your face. It's like, okay, we see it.
Yeah, after a few failed cash-ins, I was like, it doesn't seem like I'm cashing in anytime soon. So I went and I was like, hey, got an idea.
It's like getting shot by a giant ham. Oh, damn. Priest is one of them guys in that Drew Sheamus Gunther class. Do you mean because of like his size and like how much of a heavy hitter he is when you say that? Which, by the way, I'm going to pause here for just a quick second. For anyone that is new and tuning into the stream, and if you are lurking, please make sure to hit that like button right here on youtube.com/Square Circle Podcast. Because the more likes that we get, it goes into the algorithm of YouTube, it goes into the atmosphere of YouTube, and that's how we can grow and connect and network with a lot more other people on YouTube and grow our community, because it is an us thing. It is not just an I thing, it is an us thing. And thank you guys for giving your friendship over to the stream by us having 529 followers, and even tuning into this stream as well and hearing me talk about the interview and pausing and giving my thoughts. And I welcome everybody that's here in chat. The other thing I want to mention too is that we are sponsored by Uno, as you can tell. Let me see if I'm pointing to it right. No, right up here. I could do one of these. We are sponsored by Uno, which is amazing. I love Uno. I love playing the card game. It is currently on mobile. In the chat, the link, my special link for Uno is going around. Please make sure you download it, play the game, crush those goals. We're gonna play it right after this interview, and then we're gonna have some fun with that. If you guys ever wanted to know how to directly support your favorite content creator, that is one of the special ways. Currently, right now, the Square Circle podcast is not in the YouTube partnership program. We are getting there, and I am so thankful for meeting everybody. I'm so thankful for people coming by, hanging out, and talking about wrestling, watching the videos, and giving everything so much love. Like, without this, it wouldn't be possible, and without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. So if you want to help me out directly, that is one way by doing it, by clicking the link, downloading the game, playing up to level 10, and helping me out directly as the content creator and streamer for the Square Circle podcast. And I just want to say thank you guys, love you guys, and yeah, it'll be throughout the chat. Yeah, Scully is definitely right. The heavy hitting stiff guys.
And I presented it as merch. And they were like, great idea. You know? I was like, do a custom, and I was like, and I want to be called Senor. You know, like throw a little difference. Like, did everybody that's had different briefcases had like a thing to it? You know, Edge was the rated R, RVD with his, you know, like there was different ones. I was like, I want to be Senor. You know, it's the first one. It's completely different, and that's why you're always trying to be different, right? And I was like, we'll do purple, obviously, the Judgment Day. And then they made a mock of it, and they showed me, and I was like, yeah, that works. That looks cool. And I loved it. And I'm glad I was able to hold it for so long now, in retrospect, because I had a cool briefcase that I was able to hold for so long. It also came from the idea, it looked like I was carrying around a giant lunchbox around the airports. It was embarrassing. So that's really why I wanted to change it.
And it becomes your carry-on luggage, right?
Yeah.
Like it becomes your personal item when you board a plane?
Yes. A lot of times I would put it I would check a bag just so I could put it in my check-in.
Gotcha.
Even though I didn't need a check-in bag, but I would just...
But now you got to wait for luggage, you know, when you land in the city. I feel like there's nothing worse
but the purple one, it was a little easier. And then it was, you know...
When you're taking a Money in the Bank briefcase through the TSA check-in, when you don't check it...
Oh, man.
Like, what... Money in the bank? What is this?
Yeah. First of all, it's the funniest thing is everybody's like, you got money in there? I'm like, it literally says in the bank. It literally says in the bank. But okay, let's let that one go. And then like some would be like, money in the bank, manifesting. That's good. Good for you.
That's
like,
good.
You're like, well, actually, kind of.
That's exactly what I'm doing. Yeah.
But then, is it empty on the inside?
Just a contract. But I would put my toiletries. Sometimes like I wouldn't put my dirty stuff, because that was a complaint that they told me from the get go. They're like, hey, don't be like previous holders that they would put their dirty stuff in here and then just ruin these briefcases. I was like, no, I'm good. Don't worry. Like I would just put like literally like stuff like that, like toiletries, or take my gear to a show in them. But yeah, I used it. Like I legitimately used it like a real briefcase. Just I didn't have like paperwork, so I would have to use other stuff. So
you just have the contract in there.
My sunglasses and stuff like that.
That's so funny. Your story is really inspiring, and I'm sure you heard this when you aired the documentary, but there's something about that people can relate to. And just the whole idea through this whole conversation we've had of like, if you can believe that it's true, if you can believe that you can do it, if you work hard enough, you can accomplish it.
You can. And worst case scenario, you don't, it's still a great scenario because you would have experienced so many cool things on the ride.
Yeah, you're in a much better place than you would have been if you just gave up and didn't try at all.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Congratulations on everything, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you making the time here. I'm going to hit you with the question that I end every conversation with, because gratitude's so important to me. What are 3 things that you're grateful for as we sit here right now?
The number one thing is able to help my family. You know, I wasn't in that position before, so I am extremely grateful for that. I'm grateful for the fact that I've changed my life around and I live positively and I'm mentally healthy. And I'm grateful for the fact that my story can inspire others to do the same for themselves.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Awesome,
Thank you.
awesome.
This video is sponsored by
Okay, well, let me just basically that was the end of the interview, and it was a fantastic interview. Chris Van Vliet did an amazing job. Damian Priest did an amazing job, and I really do want to become Damian Priest's friend. I don't know how we're gonna make that happen, but like I would love to become his friend. Just because it is sort of inspiring. His journey is inspiring. You know, I can relate because I'm half Puerto Rican. You know, he's full Puerto Rican. And sometimes, shit just happens in life. And not everyone makes it to like their dream and whatnot. And then sometimes you think that maybe your dream is too far away. And then sometimes your head, the headspace that you're in, just basically like you are your own worst enemy. Sometimes, you gotta let that go and you gotta start thinking a lot more positive, reaching out to people, networking with people, talking with people. If you really want to do the thing that you want to do and the stuff that, you love to do. And I think that there's a lot of great gems hidden in the interview that we just saw, which I am grateful for having everybody here watch it with me and chat with me and give their thoughts and stuff like that. And I really do appreciate you guys. I appreciate Damian Priest for taking the time to talk with Chris Van Vliet, and Chris Van Vliet doing this on a very consistent, grindy basis. Other than that, I am very, very thankful for everyone that has given a like to this live stream. If you have not given it a like and you're just lurking, please give it a like. It helps out in the algorithm. And if you have not downloaded the Uno game, which we're going to be switching over to in just a little bit, if you have not downloaded the Uno game and played, please go do so. This isn't the end of the stream. It's just that I want to switch over all of my stuff completely. But I will say that I feel like streaming tomorrow as well. Probably around the same time to have an early stream so that way I can get, my chores done later on and whatnot. But thank you, Vortex. Hopefully, like, Uno, is amazing. What I do want to do is that I'm gonna put this image up here first, and you guys are just gonna hear me talk. So my buddy Adam Bernard from the Foundation Radio podcast. Basically, I asked him permission if we can react to Arn Anderson interview because he got the interview with Arn Anderson. I am a huge like Arn Anderson fan, Four Horsemen fan, and like when I saw that, I immediately started cheesing. So we're gonna be watching that tomorrow because I got the okay because I asked ahead of time. I'm not going to overload everybody here with watching so many interviews. But if you want to tune in around the same time, like that 12 p.m., 12:30-ish, I know it's lunchtime, but I just feel I have this thing about streaming like early into like brunch into like a little bit into the afternoon and then later on in the night if I'm not on a panel with somebody else then like that's the only reason why I like to stream a little bit earlier and stuff. But yeah, tomorrow it's going to be that, so tune in for that. Foundation Radio. I can speak, ladies and gentlemen. I know I can. Foundation Radio by Adam. We're going to be reacting to the Arn Anderson interview, and then I guess I'll be talking a little bit about MLW because I did get the chance to watch Brock Anderson in action, and man, I just love that we're bringing back like an old school style of wrestling, the technical style of wrestling, and that's what I like really really love. I love breaking down matches that are technical. I do think that wrestlers should have like, you know, the full package and being adaptable in the ring, and they shouldn't just do like a spot fest after a spot fest after a spot fest. That's why sometimes the indie mindset doesn't really go over very very well when it comes to like a weekly television show, because like if you get, you know, all your stuff in, right? What else are you going to do during the match? You can't do anything during the match, and then it's going to be on repetition. And then it's like, yo, you just hit a Canadian destroyer like 3 seconds ago. Why are you trying to hit another Canadian destroyer like, you know, at this very moment? Like, what's the point of that, you know? So I appreciate the technical style. If you are new here, I adore the technical style of wrestling, but like if you have the full package, you know, show me the full package. Become adaptable, you know. Don't just do the same stuff over and over again. Even though WWE has their wrestlers do that to basically save their moveset so that way they don't get injured, because they are wrestling, you know, 365 days a year, 366 on, you know, on a leap year. Even though people could take like time off, but that's not the point. The point is that like they don't want them to burn out through anything else. But sometimes if you have a good person that can book a match, that can talk about the match, and like, well, I'm not talking about like commentators, but I mean talk about the match beforehand to know what you're going to be doing and what you're not going to be doing. If you plan the match accordingly, like it should be a very good feel good time of a match. But if you're just gonna try to get all your moves in, do all the high spots, do all the super kicks, you know, do all the Canadian destroyers, like it's not gonna go over well. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. That's because I love this business so much. But yes, we are gonna go over we're gonna react to Arn Anderson's interview tomorrow, and we are going to talk about MLW and like, you know, what I did during MLW, the videos that I have saved on my phone, and we're gonna do a hybrid. And also again play some more Uno. I'm only saying this for this because I'm gonna end the stream just on the Damian Priest interview, and then I hope that you guys stay around and we can start playing a little bit of the Uno game, and have a good time like that and play for a little bit longer. So I will see you guys in a little bit. Don't go anywhere, but this particular stream is ending. I'll boot it back up. But I want to say thank you guys for tuning into the Damian Priest live stream. If you guys did not see anything at all, like if you just tuned in late, go back and watch it. It's fantastic. I even give some more gems and encouragement because I think that you know, not a lot of encouragement is out there, especially for like content creators that want to get into the space, or you know, if you're thinking about starting this, if you're thinking about starting that, if you're thinking about going on your dream job and your journey, you know, you can do it. You can definitely do it. It's just a matter of just know that you're gonna have some low periods, and just know that you're gonna have some really high periods. You're gonna have some milestones, you're gonna have some obstacles, and like they all get you prepared for the doors of opportunities that will open for you. But on the flip side, you also have to be professional about what you want to do, how you want to handle situations, and picking and choosing your battles. Maybe one day I could just have a live stream of just chatting to people about like, you know, stuff on the internet, things that I've learned, and how to handle them. There is no one right way to handle it, but I've always wanted to do like a Q&A with people that end up watching me and stuff like that, and talking with Chad, and like you guys know that like whatever you want to do, you can go do it. And even though right now it is a very difficult time, maybe you never know what can happen. You never know. The world, the world of the internet is always constantly changing. There's always different ways to get what you want, and to do what you want, and love what you do. It's just a matter of how you go about it. You know, if you cut corners, you're gonna end up, you know, being at the bottom, and you're not gonna know how to go through that trench. Versus someone that goes through the trench and go and gets over all the little obstacles and celebrate all the little milestones. And then if they have a setback, they know how to get right back on track. For someone that doesn't cut corners. For those that do cut corners, oh man, it's going to be way, 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 way more difficult for you to get back up on that horse, so to speak. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out me reacting to Damian Priest interview by CVV. Tomorrow we are reacting to Arn Anderson interview from my buddy Adam. And then we're gonna continue a little bit later to play some Uno. But by all means, hit that like button, follow the channel Square Circle Podcast on YouTube. And I will see you guys on the next stream.